There are three things that affected my grass this year: fungus, dogs, and trees. And I need to repair spots for those three things. Coming up. Well, here you can see the fungus, and there you can see the dog.
Why does everyone always blame dogs?
So the fungus is hopefully dead. I put down a high dose of propiconazole to kill that off, and so that should stop that problem. The dogs, I can't really do anything to stop the dogs from going, but they tend to go where it's easy. They would walk right through there and just go as soon as they come out on the grass. And then there are other spots on the lawn that were problems where trees were taken down. I had trees taken down here and back there, and there were roots that went through here, that those roots were decaying and causing unsafe situations. So those are things that I needed to take care of. In the front, the damage was caused by trees. There was a tree taken down in the middle here, probably 15 years ago. And the stump just continues to rot, and it gets low in the middle there. And then there's another one over in that vicinity. And then there's another one right here. This one you could see from a distance, it's a bit of a dip. This one over here, you couldn't tell. The grass was nice, and it was like a hole. The grass was the same height, and you could almost break your ankle just mowing and walking on it. But you'd never be able to tell by looking at it that there was a problem with it. Now, I put down my pre-emergent in that vicinity over there because that's where I get the Poa annua the most. I didn't put it in the middle here, and I didn't put it in some other spots that I knew I had to spot seed. To fill in these areas, I'm just using average New Jersey topsoil purchased from Home Depot. And right now I am without a wheelbarrow, so I'm using the best that I got. Now, like I said, this hole was about 3 inches deep, and the grass was the same height, so you couldn't see it. You would just kind of step into it. Now, topsoil that I'm using here is kind of a sandy soil. It's not completely inorganic. It's definitely got some plain old dirt in it. And it's really good for a seed bed, and it's really also good because it doesn't compress. It's really good for filling in holes like this. Now, the trick to filling in a hole like this that has mature grass is to work the soil down so that the grass plants are still sticking up as much as possible. If the grass can get the sunlight, it'll continue to grow. And that, of course, is the easier way to have it fill in rather than seed. But of course, I'm going to add some seed here too. And I'm just lightly covering the seed over with the soil, mixing it in, so that when it germinates, it's definitely going to be in the soil. Here's another spot where I had a patio block taken out several years ago, and it just was a low spot, and I could feel it when I'd mow. So I was taking this opportunity to do it the same way, fill it in with the soil, a little bit of seed, mix it in, and that's it. This was the spot where the roots had decayed, and it really was a ridge that went along. And I don't think it was a mole or anything like that. I really do think, because of the pattern, that it was the roots of the tree. So here I'm actually compressing the soil down with the rake into that groove. And then just using the back of the rake to flatten it out and make it even, and a little bit of seed as well. This was one of the spots where the dogs go, and it's not very deep, but it was uneven. After years of grass plants dying from the dog urine, you get unevenness that really makes it hard to mow. So a large area like this, I'm spreading out with the rake as much as possible. I think I put like 1.5 bags on this area. And then some seed, mix it in a little bit, and let Mother Nature do the rest, with a little help from the hose. So this is another area where the dogs would go. They'd come right off the patio and just do their business as soon as they got on the grass. So it dies out notoriously every year. So I started by dethatching it with the rake. I didn't want to add any soil in this area because it's high enough. then I'm using Scott's Patchmaster instead of the other bluegrass seed. Well, in reality, I used a little bit of bluegrass on top of it too. But the Patchmaster provides the perfect seed bed for that seed to germinate. It's actually recycled newspaper plus a little bit of fertilizer. And so it holds the seed in place and provides the ability for it to germinate as best as possible, as quickly as possible. And of course, the final step is to water it in. Not just this time, but continuously. So, within reason, I try to keep it as watered as possible. But I also had to keep the dogs off of these areas. So for this area, I'm being a little creative with some deer netting and some flags. And that was good enough. And over here, I'm using a chair just to block that space. Now, when you water it in, you don't want it to be too wet. You don't want it to start running, but you do want to keep the soil moist as much as possible. And it'll grow. Maybe not every seed will germinate, but it'll grow. Hey, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next one. Hey there, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be the first to know when new videos are posted. Look for HandyDadTV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and visit the website HandyDadTV for more great ideas and information.